Howdy folks, and welcome to the video for the American Tier 10 Premium Cruiser, the Puerto Rico. A little bit of a blast from the past for some of my old school World of Warships fans and players. Been on a little bit of a kick lately playing these super heavy cruisers like the Carnot and La Havre, so I figured why not pull out the Puerto Rico? And you are going to see a little microcosm of Puerto Rico in 2026 right here, both the good and the bad. First, the bad. So we have tried to support our Mecklenburg a little bit, but we lost our destroyer and our submarine. And now we are spotted from a million miles away, because that's one of the things about these super heavy cruisers, and especially the Puerto Rico. And everything 2026 has to throw at you is coming my way. Torpedoes, one of which I am unfortunately going to take because I am not used to driving something this big and kind of clumsy. And we've got HE spamming coming our way, and airplane drops, and submarines, and everything. Everything is here. There's a Surcouf up there, I can tell because of this spread of 4 torpedoes. Yeah. Right. The downside of the Puerto Rico, it's basically got all the flaws of a battleship. It's huge. It's kind of slow. It's sort of clumsy. It has really bad concealment. But you're also going to get to see the upside of the Puerto Rico. But first of all, for those who remember, the Puerto Rico was the subject of much consternation and gnashing of teeth way back in the mists of time in World of Warships. I actually had only started playing at that point. I'd been playing maybe 6 to 9 months. And so I didn't really understand what all the fuss was about. I kind of get it now. It was basically one of the first times that the player base rebelled against wargaming for making the free-to-play angle just so incredibly grindy. There was a dockyard for Puerto Rico. It may have even been the first dockyard ever. I can't remember. And it was apparently just so hard. I wasn't serious enough about the game to even try to do it back then, so I wasn't really tracking all that well. But apparently people that actually were thinking maybe they would try to do this for free quickly realized that it was essentially impossible, or improbable anyway. It required like 5 to 6 hours a day for 2 months or something absurd like that. But anyway, none of that would have mattered if the ship wasn't very good, but it was widely felt that the ship was incredibly overpowered, that having these 12 305s in a cruiser was just insane, and it was going to wreck everybody. It's a little bit hilarious to think about now, but the ship can still dish it out. There you go, Citadel for 8,900 alpha against this Hindenburg at 12 kilometers. Pretty nice. Only thing that would be nicer is if I could do it again on the very next salvo. And oh, look at that. So that's 2 Citadels at 12 to 13 kilometers, and that's the upside of the Puerto Rico. These guns really do slap. They absolutely hit hard. They have really good penetration, really good alpha. Now, they do use the battleship dispersion tables, which my understanding, and I covered this recently, means that at shorter ranges, you're still going to get that battleship feel where the dispersion doesn't come down that quickly from the maximum. However, to slightly compensate for that, it uses 2.2 sigma, which means the shells have a tendency to go towards the center. And I can tell you that just in terms of game feel, the overall effect is that the guns feel really reliable and solid at medium to long-ish ranges. I'm talking maybe like 13 to 18 kilometers. Unfortunately, the Puerto Rico only gets about 18 and a half kilometers of range, which was probably totally fine when the ship came out, but has definitely been power crept. You have to get a little closer than you really want to be in the Puerto Rico. The armor here is quote unquote very good for a cruiser. That's what people always say. It's got 27 millimeters in the front, and then I think 38 millimeters on the deck, if I remember correctly. So it definitely feels very tanky for a cruiser. Like, it's no joke. I wouldn't say the big problem with the Puerto Rico is just your standard garden variety surface ship gunplay. The real downside of the Puerto Rico is that all these modern gimmicks have really power crept it. Like, it has a hard time, I feel, with planes and submarines and HE spammers. It uses the battleship fire tables, like it has a 60-second fire duration, if I remember correctly, which is really obnoxious. It does get some tools that are pretty awesome. It has a hard time defending against like destroyers and torpedoes. So you get hydroacoustic search and you get a long duration 10-kilometer radar, which is great. I mean, without those, this ship would be pretty rough to play. But with those two things, I still think the Puerto Rico is pretty good. Like, I think it's an above average ship. I think it's an interesting pickup. I think in a world where you could get it for a reasonable amount of coal or some other resource, it would be an interesting ship to have. I don't even know how you get it anymore. I'm not sure it's even for sale. It might be in like super containers or Santa crates, but I think that's about it. I don't think it's necessary these days to go out of your way to get a Puerto Rico, but if you have one, I think it still can provide some really fun games and some good battle impact. We're going to have a reasonably good game this game, not just with that damage on that Hindenburg. So partially for the sake of the video, I am going to get in a one-on-one duel with this half-health Yamato. So lay your bets on how this is going to go. Now, obviously, in most cruisers in the game, this would be absolutely instantly fatal, right? His first salvo would just absolutely eviscerate me. But, you know, in the Puerto Rico, you can take a little bit of damage. Should I be 7.5 kilometers away from a Yamato? No, I absolutely should not. But can I take a salvo of his and then dish out 16k damage in return? Yeah, absolutely. Am I going to get citadeled from the next salvo he fires? Well, I guess we'll all find out right now. So, yeah. Should I be proud of the Puerto Rico that it could hold up that long, or should I be disappointed that it couldn't hold up longer? I don't know. Anyway, we did manage to lay claim to this center of the map, and we're going to hold it for a surprisingly long period of time. I'm going to hold my fire here against this Colombo, as tempting as it is, because I really want to go dark. I mean, I am flat broadside to him on low health, and I want to be able to use my heals. The heals are fine, but they're just, you know, bog standard garden variety heals, nothing special. Is the Puerto Rico a good ship? Yeah, I think it's a good ship. Is it a great ship? Probably not anymore. Is it overpowered? Definitely not. You know, can you still get in some highlight reel salvos? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, when you play the Puerto Rico, you're not counting on your battle impact coming from like incremental gains. You're counting on like 3 or 4 salvos per game from places where people don't expect you to be, and you're just really gonna absolutely crush 1 or 2 people, and then that's your contribution. And then the only other thing is you're going to use that radar to, you know, spot some destroyers and kill them. And by the way, that is exactly what's going to happen in this game. I'm going to get tormented by submarines and planes. I'm going to use my radar on a destroyer, and I'm going to get a couple of serious salvos in, most of which you've already seen on the Yamato and on that Hindenburg. So in many ways, this is absolutely the perfect taste of gameplay video. This is exactly what this ship is all about. I don't think you can pick up a Puerto Rico anymore. Sorry, did I say that already? I think it's only in like super containers and Santa crates. So, you know, oh yeah, I mentioned that, right? Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to get one of these. You never really see it in competitive play. I mean, it's too hard. It's a really hard ship to squeeze the juice out of. It's the kind of ship where if you're not good at the game or you're not paying attention, you're going to have a really bad time. And even if you are really good at the game and you play 100% correctly, you're still going to only have like above average battle impact. This is a difficult ship to squeeze amazing games out of. You're going to see right here, like I'm going to get 2 full broadside salvos in on this Hawaii, and the dispersion is just going to troll me. I'm going to get 4 overpens. And then one more overpen. I guess that was only one salvo. That was two parts of the same salvo. So 12 shells, 6 kilometers, 5 overpens, and 1 penetration. Kind of wouldn't mind a little more than that, you know what I mean? But you see, I am very tanky for a cruiser. And oh, look, there was a destroyer, and there goes a destroyer. Do not sail within 10 kilometers of a Puerto Rico when you are on 500 health. The secondaries, by the way, that experience notwithstanding, are not particularly great. I wish I'd paid a little more attention to this submarine. Oh well, this is my big mistake. I guess you could call getting in that duel with the Yamato a mistake, but I would say that was a mild mistake. Ignoring the submarine here is going to be a bigger mistake. He is going to get his revenge. I think I thought the Smollin was going to take care of him, but sadly he doesn't. The Smollin is kind of an awkward destroyer to fight submarines in because it has that super weird one-off, like the depth charges come out of the front of the ship thing. I think it's also in the Holland. The Smollin and the Holland are the two that have this. I'm hoping to slide around here and delete this Venezia, for better or for worse. My friends are going to do it for me. Yeah, what happened to the Smollin? Oh, yeah, the Venezia got him. I guess that makes sense. And then the Smollin gets his revenge, but I'm not thinking about the fact that that submarine is right behind me now. Yeah, U-4501, super annoying. But, I mean, in many ways, that's a good thing to show for this ship because it is a problem, right? You're big and slow and clumsy, and in 2026, that means planes, that means submarines, that means, you know, all that stuff. Waited just a little too long to shoot my guns. Yeah. So, ignoring that last minute or so, I think I played pretty well in that game. 94,000 damage, 1 kill, you know, some battle impact, held down the center of the map. This game is still kind of hanging in the balance, but it is going to turn out to be a victory. Archerfish is going to play pretty well. We're going to get some good damage in on this Hawaii. And yeah, we're going to pull this one out. So yeah, that's the Puerto Rico. Still a good ship. Definitely not OP. Fun to play. Get some really good salvos in. Those are pretty fun. I don't think I'd go out of my way to get it if you don't already have it, but I'm glad to be able to showcase it and bring it to you. I think that game, like I said, really represents exactly what the Puerto Rico is all about. I think I got, yeah, 1600 XP. So yeah, not bad. Anyway, that'll do it for the Puerto Rico, and I'll see you guys in the next video.